And then when we pass an archive to GCC, or I'm just being explicit, the LD, the linking pass of GCC, it works like this. In this case, the linker sees I've got a main object that defines main, but it needs a blur sum. And then it sees, I've got a library. Let me look inside this library and see are any of the functions that I'm looking for provided by an object in this library. In this case, it's where we need a blur sum, and this object provides a blur sum. So it's as if I provided that object to the linking command along with this object file I'm starting with. And now at this point, I've got two object files that will link together, but I still need another function, conv. And so we have those two objects. We still need conv. We look again in the library. Is there any object that provides conv? If so, and we find one, then we gather it up as well. And so at this point, we've got these three objects, and we have everything we need. And so since the linker isn't looking for any new uses, then it just forgets about the library at this point, and it's got all the files and it will link them together, right? All the objects that it needs, and it'll link them together. Now I'm describing this process in this way because that's actually how it works. In particular, if you put the library before main.o, then it's not going to do anything. At this point, the linker doesn't have any uses that it's looking for, and so none of these objects provide uses that it needs. So when it asks this question, do we need any of these objects? Nope. So then it forgets about the library and then continues on. And so at this point, we will end up with a no definition of blur sum. The order matters when you provide a static library, but it's important to be aware of when you're building programs and writing the linking commands that you don't get confused by misordering. Just always put the libraries at the end to make sure that the definitions are found when they're needed. And here's how you might use that. So in this case, I've got my main program and I've got my library, but it turns out that I have implemented a better version of convolution. Right? I have a faster version that I want to use instead, not only for my own code, but I want to replace the one that's in the library. And so this searching process lets me do that by just putting my object before the library. When the linker is looking through this, it's needed blur sum. It has conv, and in this archive then, it finds blur sum that it needs, right? But this conv now is going to refer to the one that we already have. We won't keep looking in the library again for the other one. So that's why I described this particular search process. It's because if you put a replacement before the library, then that replacement takes over for all uses, even the ones that were in the library.